Okay, we back live, I think. Anyway,
We're on again.
Baraka FM,
Baraka Podcast.
Baraka Podcast. No, we're
Picado come back, you're forgiven.
yeah,
Yeah, we're live. We're back.
yeah. No, it's just I think it was the internet that went out for a little bit. We were on Wi-Fi, but we had some issues. But we're back. We're back. Get everybody in. Sorry, internet problems. Yeah, but we're back. Anyway, just want to recap the while Cristiano went up on the roof to fix the antenna. We yeah, we're live. We're just but that's because you have the replay on. I started a new stream. But the thing is that just to recap this Chaves game, and it's just everything went our way, really. And I mean, it was spectacular football. Chocolat, as they like to say. You got that one Enzo goal that got called back because of an offside play, and that was an M to football. But it was just good.
Mas tu falaste do golaço do Neres?
Não falei.
Foda-se, que golaço. You gotta mention that.
All those goals were.
Aquilo era, parecia eu contra o Baqueiro no PlayStation.
2 minutes in.
That was top shelf. Look, here's one thing, man. I think Baqueiro's mentioned it. You mentioned it. Gonçalo, Dave. Bro, it is an absolute joy to watch this Benfica play. But then when you see the quality of football, right? It's one thing Benfica's winning games, and we're all thrilled. We don't give a shit how they win games, right? But then the quality of goals, the quality of gameplay, it is absolutely, bro, it doesn't feel real. As Baqueiro said before, and I think I said it to you during the week when you asked me last week, I believe you asked me if I was confident, whatever. And I said, bro, as excited and as, com pau duro autêntico, I'm always expecting the hammer to come down somewhere else because that's just what we've seen for Benfica over the years. Like, this is too good to be true. And I think I was in a car with Gonçalo. I was in a car with Baqueiro and Guilherme. And if you guys see this video that we took in a car, bro, I mean, I'm telling you, you guys would cry. All right? We were. I mean, that was the car in North America with the most Benfica's winning without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, we had the brothers in the hood singing SOB. I mean, we had this going, ladies and gentlemen. And, bro, and I said to everybody, I don't think we've all grasped this. Not only, guys, did we make it out of a group ahead of PSG, ahead of Juventus, right? It wasn't as if we backed into this. PSG won their game, ladies and gentlemen. They won their game. Not only did we have to come up and win our game, but we had to win by 5. And ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what we did. This is extraordinary. I don't recall Benfica in this new Champions League format since 92, Mr. Baqueiro and Gonçalo and Dave and Alfredo and the Freddies. I don't recall Benfica slapping anybody 6-1 in the Champions League. Bro, we fucking struggle in the Taça de Portugal against 5th division clubs. Again, with Caldas, the Rainha, whatever. What was the name? Caldas. We struggle to beat Caldas. Tivemos que ir ao penalti. You got in the Champions League, we're slapping somebody 6-1. That is extraordinary. And that was today. We're still talking about last week's game, though. Yeah, the goals by Neres were magnificent. I forgot. I was guessing to falar disso.
What the fuck? We're talking about Chaves, and all of a sudden you're talking about PSG. Já não bebes mais nada hoje.
It's the quality of football, bro. It's the quality. Tu compreendes?
O time está a dizer that you kicked the cord.
O time...
Alfred, you need to bring another guy to Benfica Podcast.
I know, Baqueiro não presta.
They've been telling me. They tell me that every week. They tell me that every week.
Let's do this. I stay in the United States forever.
Can I go?
You go.
Can I go to Benfica FM? Benfica FM não podem
You
comigo.
go to Benfica.
Não aguento.
We do a switch up.
Não aguento.
That's the
A
voice.
trade.
A trade, yeah.
Não aguento.
I think I should go, Baqueiro.
Huh?
Dave.
I think I should go, Baqueiro.
You?
Yeah.
You go to
We should
Benfica
change,
FM?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
At my place? You?
Yeah. Yeah, we should change, yeah.
Pera, you should change o Baqueiro. You?
No. You
So
stay here.
if you change o Baqueiro, that means he comes here. Eu vou para
No,
lá.
Baqueiro goes to
Cristiano
Portugal, I
goes
think,
to how do you say in English? Caixa to lixo.
Garbage.
Garbage. Cristiano to the Garbage FM.
Basura.
Gonçalo to Benfica FM, and I go to Benfica Podcast.
There you go. Now the show is reaching new heights for sure.
All right, listen, I'm leaving now.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm never gonna recover from this moment for the rest of my life.
I got the stats up and the dominant performance by Benfica, as you could see that they're up on the screen. But Dave, stats on this game, brother.
Yeah, Nettish goal in the second minute there was the quickest goal Benfica scored this season. We ragged on this guy last podcast, but Gonçalo Ramos goal puts him top of the league with 7 goals scored this season. And now Benfica, as Baqueiro alluded to, 8 points ahead of Porto, with Porto drawing against Santa Clara earlier in the day, and 6 points ahead of Braga, who's in second place at the moment.
Yeah. So a good weekend for Benfica altogether, but I'm with Baqueiro, but Benfica doesn't really give a shit about what Sporting and Porto are doing. They just worry about themselves.
But can I just say one thing?
You can say many things.
Okay, one of many things.
Cristiano number 1.
Fuck Cristiano. Cristiano is going to to Garbage FM.
Yo, e não foi pago. Atenção.
No.
Pode dizer isso.
So, for many years, I have a dream.
Like Martin Luther King.
Yeah, I'm in the United States, so I think about Martin Luther King. He has said, "I have a dream," and this is
This is the dream.
exact words. The guy said that in the 60s. I have a dream that one day Benfica is going to win a league, like in February, like 20 points ahead. I want to live that.
That's your dream?
That's my dream.
You don't have Champions League dreams.
No, I have many dreams, but not my dream. Martin Luther King dream. He said, "I have many dreams for Benfica." Okay, one of them is for Benfica to win a league like in February. In February, we are 20 points ahead, and we drew one game, and we go like shit. Now it's just 18, and in March, our players are playing the games with the hair painted, yeah. And I think maybe, just maybe, nobody's listening, so this won't be a curse. This is the year. So I'm very happy. Even if right now I'm so confident in this Benfica team that even if Porto and Sporting are winning, I'm confident that Benfica will do very good things. But it's just amazing when Porto and Sporting loses points, because I want to live that dream. That in a month, Benfica are already champions.
I would tend to agree with you, and the reason why I don't fully agree and I'm a little bit hesitant to follow that dream.
I'm just saying this because I'm a little drunk, you know this.
It doesn't matter. I'm saying that the World Cup is gonna throw a huge monkey wrench on this whole thing, because we don't know what the restart's gonna be like.
Okay.
That's what I think.
And it's not that far off of a dream. Somebody
ahead,
on this podcast said by Christmas time Benfica would be champion. So
That was last year, right? A couple years ago?
Oh, that was that I think was Bruno
couple years
Lage
ago.
that was here.
No.
Okay.
Hey,
No, that was when JJ's first year, dude.
Really?
first year back.
No, couldn't have
Yeah,
been.
yeah, it
We
was
got off
JJ's
to a
first
bad
year.
start.
No, we
JJ's
didn't.
We got
first
off
year
to a
back.
bad start.
No, we started 5. We won the first 5 games
Yeah.
that year. We won the first
No,
5
I
games.
thought it was older than that.
But Dave, stats on this Chaves game so we can move on.
We already did that.
What? I didn't even
wait.
listen. Oh, you did the fastest goal, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. Excellent. So let's turn our attention to the thing that that made us happy today. The game against Maccabi and the way we were able to clinch first place in a group. Benfica had never won in Israel. Past couple times, I think they lost to Beitar. Who else did they lose to, Baquero? They lost to Beitar.
Ooh.
Benfica when they played in Israel before. We'd never won in Israel.
Yeah, we lost 4-1 in '98 and 3-0 in 2010.
Yeah. So we had never won in Israel.
Which is
It's awful, right? Because if nobody really thinks of Israel as a football mecca
Powerhouse.
no.
or powerhouse, right? I mean, I could even get away with the Netherlands, right? If you go to Netherlands, you never won in the Netherlands. Okay, maybe that's acceptable, being that you got Ajax and you got other teams that have been legendary in the Netherlands. But Israel, well, this é o mesmo que dizer Malta. You never won in Malta.
One game?
Yeah, I don't know. Vlaco Dimos, Bá, Silva, Otamendi, Grimaldo, Arsnes, Tino, Neres, João Mário, and Rafa and Ramos were the starting 11. No Enzo, obviously, because Enzo was serving the yellow card suspension. So it made sense that Arsnes made the start against Chaves to get him acclimated to playing in the middle. But really, initial push by this Maccabi team as they've been accustomed to doing during this Champions League group stages. But I thought that after the 15 minute, I thought that Benfica steadied the ship, got a little bit more of the ball, took a little bit more control of the game, and then the 20th minute that goal by Ramos off an Otamendi assist. But then 6 minutes later, would give up the tying goal. And did you guys at one point, and I'll start with you, Dave, did you at one point say, here we go, or did you feel confident that the team would see the game out?
I thought especially with the substitutions that were made not too long after the tying goal, I didn't know if it was tactical or injury related. We later found out in the press conference that it was injury related. So I thought that Schmidt was just settling for the draw, getting some minutes for these players while getting some rest for these other players.
Now Dave's internet is out.
It's ours.
It's ours.
Yeah, because we're free. Now we're back. So.
Have a concerned about? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Mhm.
Okay. Where'd you last hear off?
The
last part you said.
Yeah.
So you heard everything then?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So where was I going off? Oh, he was giving these guys some rest, which I know a lot of people on Twitter, which I don't know if that's the best place to be during the games or not, but we're questioning Mr. Schmidt's tactics there. But in the end, it all paid off there. Maccabi was giving us a little bit more pressure there in the end of the first half, but the second half it was all Benfica, and we completely dominated the second half. But a little bit testy there in the first half there.
Yeah, Gonzalo, what were your feelings that you were watching this? Were you still in awe that you were hanging out with Baquero and Cristiano? What were your feelings about the game at that point when Benfica?
How
I was
many
hanging out with Bakar.
how many beers did you drink?
Yeah, I drank a lot of beers. That's why I'm a little bit nervous, I think.
You're not nervous,
yeah.
man. You're good, man.
I completely agree with him. I think Benfica played really well. We were second, right, against PSG, and we were trying to get to the first place. And we scored 6 goals against Maccabi, which is, I think, it's unbelievable. I think last year, if we think about last year, Benfica was playing not with the same players, but we were playing with
Different players.
Grimaldo.
With the same,
were playing with the same
base from
players.
this
You know what
year.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The Portuguese players,
The same
the
core.
small group.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to talk about them, but yeah, we're playing with them, and if we think Maccabi against Benfica last year, did you think that we were going to win 6-1 against them?
I didn't think this morning.
No, unbelievable.
Would have
So
been
I
a
think
draw.
This year,
Yeah.
I think we changed a lot, even with a new president, a new coach. We changed a lot, and I think today it was unbelievable. We showed our potential, like what we can do this year, and I think that's it. Like we're first. We can win against every team
Yeah.
in Europe, and let's do this shit. Like,
Yeah, no, it's funny because I found myself thinking about that, right? As we're winning the game. And look, our objective was to win the game and hope that Juventus would pull out maybe a tie or maybe even win because they still had Europe to play for. Never at one point did I feel that, okay, well, we're going to go for 6 goals. And even the team, I don't think the team felt that that's the objective, right? I think that when the goals started coming, they said, okay, well, the goals are coming. This Maccabi team is tired. Let's go on top of him. And even after the fourth goal, you could see our team pressing to get more. And I think that's when they realized at this point, let's just score as many goals as we can. And then when the final whistle goes out, we'll see how the chips fall and land, right? But I don't know. I was a little bit worried about that the Auschwitz substitution.
I disagree.
You disagree? What do you disagree with?
I think the team went into this game understanding that if they were going to go ahead and get out of this group first, they're going to have to score goals. I think this is a team that, as I mentioned before, and we all mentioned here on the podcast, is very well coached. I think Roger Schmidt checks off all the boxes. I don't think the club went in there and said, let's see what happens. If we get goals, we go after them. No, I think this was a game that Benfica thought deep down inside, if we play our best game, we could cause some serious havoc here. And hopefully Juventus and PSG keep things close. And, at least we're going to give ourselves the best chance possible. If we do win the game and PSG wins the game, we need to overturn this goal differential. I don't think this happened by mistake, Alfredo. I don't think this happened in
but I don't think it was always the objective of the team to score that many goals.
No, not at the beginning. I don't think yesterday they were thinking about that. I think in the game, after a while, let's score as many goals as possible. Yeah, I think that. No.
Went into the game saying, look, we got to score goals. Because if we're going to come out of this group first, because going into the game, I think everyone expected Juventus to lose to Paris Saint-Germain. So Benfica understood the only way we're going to get out of this game, this group in first place, we have to do because again, I trust in Roger Schmidt. I believe that Roger Schmidt had everyone on this team prepared. Just my opinion. I don't think foi por acaso. Like, oh, shit, we're winning. Tá três. Oh, let's go see if we get 4. Oh, we got 4. No, I think it was, guys, we have to put the pedal to the metal because Juventus is going to win their game. The only way we're going to get out of this is by overturning that 4-goal gap. My opinion.
I think that
Off time.
Yeah.
but I think that at that point,
100%.
at some point, it became a goal. It wasn't a goal from the beginning of the game.
No, they knew after a while they knew they had to score a lot of goals to believe in the first place. It's amazing that when the game started, it was an amazing atmosphere in Israel at the stadium. I have friends that were there, and I want to ask them because at the TV, I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
And no matter how good and experienced Benfica players are, for sure that first impact is difficult.
Yeah.
And I thought the first minutes were a little bit shaky for us. And I remember saying to Cristiano, the first minutes I thought, well, this game is not going very well. And after a while, Benfica had a goal on the post.
Yeah, bola post, upright.
And a great Rafa shoot that the goalkeeper defend and the goal.
Yeah.
That's how this team right now responds to difficult things. And so, and then after a while, Maccabi scores from a penalty, which is an obvious penalty, but it came
Against the run of play.
Yeah. And again, maybe another team that would be the switch of the game.
Yeah.
But Benfica never loses the confidence.
Yeah.
So Benfica kept on playing, and after 2-1 and 3-1, it was like, let's just go for it. Don't forget that Maccabi suffered 7 goals the game before.
So you guys don't think? So you guys think going into the game, Roger Schmidt told the boys, lads, let's come out with a win. Look, it's not possible if Juventus loses. You think, bro? You don't think it was from minute 1?
No.
You don't? Okay, I totally disagree.
I think there's different scenarios, and you got to read how the game is going. But once the momentum was going in that second half, then I think he even alluded to it in his post-game press conference too, that they were scoreboard watching, and then they saw that the score was staying at 2-1 in Turin. And then they let the players know. So I think he definitely is aware of the scenarios, and the team is obviously aware of the scenarios, but I don't think they went in with the mindset to score 5, 6, 7 goals in Maccabi.
No.
And if they did, then great. But
See, I told you
that
this.
didn't
I don't
look-
think that was ever the
that
goal.
didn't look. It didn't look like that in the beginning.
Everything
stages of the
we've
match.
seen from Roger Schmidt is let's go out there and win the game. Everything we've seen since he's arrived, it's win the game. We play to win the game, right? Copying and repeating Herm Edwards with the New York Jets. We play to win the game. And I think looking into that, they understood the only way we're going to come out of this group in first with a Paris Saint-Germain victory by the minimum of scores is if we handle our business. And yes, I do agree with you. As the games progressed, both games, they started believing more. I think I don't think anyone could argue that. But I think the intent was, let's score as many as we can. E depois fazemos as contas ao fim. I think, honest to God, I think that was the message. Guys, we're gonna look. Let's be cautious. They could cause some danger. They could cause some problems. But we have to score goals. The only way we're gonna have a legit chance at getting out of this group first is by scoring as many goals as possible. I think that was the message. You guys don't agree? Fine and dandy. That's fine. That's why we come here on the Benfica Podcast. We discuss these things, and that's the beautiful thing about Benfica. It's for everybody. So.
Yeah, no, look, I don't know. That's not how I perceived it, but I think over time, I think the team did feel that they could get there in a different way, because Juventus wasn't really helping. And it's funny because as we're watching the game, the scores almost mirrored themselves, right? Because PSG scored first, we scored first. Then Maccabi tied the game, Juventus tied the game, and it was right around the same timeline that this was happened, and then PSV scored, and I don't know. Look, regardless of what it is, I think at the end of the day, we accomplished our objective.
And in what style? So it was like 14 points.
Yeah.
14 points.
Yeah.
First place in the group. We never in Benfica made so many points in the Champions League. So 14 points
Yeah, it is a record.
is a record, and we have to say another thing. So one of the things that people pay attention to Roger Smith is that he never changes the squad very much. So he always plays the same players. And when you look at the 11 that finishes the game, it's very different from the starting 11. And they did the job. So
Yep.
even if you think that Chiquinho or Musa or Diogo Gonçalves are not to the level that Benfica should be, it's like when things are going well, when a team is playing well, even the average players they feel like they are good.
Well, I think the confidence spreads.
Yeah, exactly.
It's contagious.
Exactly.
I think the confidence is contagious, right? And we scored a 2-1 with Musa on the field, and we scored the fifth and the sixth goals with Araújo, Gonçalves, and Chiquinho on the field.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, and there's a lot of people that criticize these players, and we would wish that we had better players than Chiquinho and Gonçalves, obviously, but there has to be sometimes guys like that on the squad because they have their own role also. It might not be as important as an Enzo or as an Auschwitz, but they still have their role. And I think that when these guys are humble and they understand what their role is on a team, the team is much better for that. Rather than being a guy, I fucking hate this shit and I'm never playing and I'm always sitting the bench and what happened here and what happened there, I'm disgruntled. I think that these guys have kind of learned to know what their role is, and the team is better as a result. Would I have liked to have seen somebody better than Chiquinho and somebody better than Gonçalves? Obviously, we all would, right? But I think that sometimes you can't have a squad full of superstars. You just can't. I mean, we've had Andre Almeida for the longest time.
Yeah, and I want to believe that Roger Smith this year is just the beginning. I want to believe that next year he will still be with Benfica. And I can only think what this Benfica team can do with the proper striker and the best bench. But right now, we have what we have. And so
I agree with Alfredo in terms of what he just said, in terms of these players fitting their role. I mean, Alfredo, I couldn't have said it better. But there's levels.
Yeah, no doubt.
These guys, when you're looking at Benfica option 1 through 11, right? And then you go to 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 guys off the bench. It gets to 12. In the 13th, if it's not a center defender, you're already starting to question. And that's the question. Are these guys serving a role? Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. Do teams like Benfica and other teams, in order to be successful, need these types of role players? Without a shadow of a doubt. Are these role players at Benfica today at the level that a role player at Benfica should be? Without my mind, there's no shadow of a doubt that they're not. And as you just said, I think this is Roger Schmidt's first year. As he continues to stay at Benfica, I think the quality will get stronger. I think the options off the bench will get better. And so I agree with you in terms of fitting roles, but at the same time, I'll stick behind my initial opinion. I've said it on the podcast that Benfica's options off the bench are very weak. Look, they might come in a game or two and play well, but overall, if one of the main guys goes down and you got to rely on these guys
It's a huge drop.
for 6 weeks, bro, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
Go ahead.
I think they are enough for the Portuguese league. No.
You think they're good
What's your
enough for the
opinion?
Portuguese league?
Yeah. What's your opinion about that? Like
Chiquinho's good for
Chiquinho,
Moreirense,
Diogo
not for
Gonçalves.
Benfica. I don't know.
they're enough. They're enough. I think.
You think they're enough?
Yeah, I think so. Like for Champions League, it depends. Against Maccabi, yeah, but against Manchester City, we need to improve our bench. But for the Portuguese league, I think they're enough.
Red Baron says, ganhares com o Chiquinho em campo devia dar acesso direto às meias finais. That's all you need to know.
That's true.
No, no, you're right. But look, I think that we should all be proud of this team, and especially us here. And this was something that Cristiano and I spoke about last week on the podcast about being Benfiquistas away from Portugal and hanging out when a lot of our friends follow football. They follow Champions League, and to now be a name where people recognize not just the team that got 5 from Basel or got 0 points in the Champions League and were the whipping boys of the Champions League, now to be looked at as what PSV, what Ajax has done in the past, what Red Bull has done in the past in terms of not a team that's chock full of stars, that doesn't have petrodollars, but a team that plays well, plays attractive football, that has decent players. We're being looked at as kind of like a Cinderella team of this Champions League campaign.
Yeah.
And I'm totally fine with that. Because finally Benfica is getting the recognition as a team that belongs in the European echelon. And I'm not saying the top echelon, but certainly within in the same conversation, right? And Cristiano's he's very happy because he can finally talk shit to troops.
Yeah, you're a sport called Benfica, the Robin Hood team of the Champions League, because we are stealing from the rich, and let's be honest, we are the poor in the Champions League. And I remember going to about 2 or 3 years ago, going to a game in the Champions League game against Leipzig at the Luz Stadium with Bruno Lage, and there were 30,000 people on the stadium. The game before, it was like against, I don't know, Moreirense, 50,000, and we played Champions League game, 30,000.
Yeah.
That's how Benfica fans were watching were seeing the Champions League. And I remember the starting 11 was full of youth players.
Yeah.
So Benfica for about 5 or 6 years look at the Champions League the wrong way. So it was like we are here just to make a number, to win, try to win some money.
Yeah.
Win, great.
And our objective in the season is to win the Portuguese league, and the Champions League is just to make money. And of course it was awful, because Benfica has to be more than just winning the league. And I'm completely sure that you watch Benfica outside of Portugal feel that even stronger.
Yep.
Because in Portugal, obviously all we want is to win the league, but I'm pretty sure outside of Portugal you think about it in a different way. And I'm just going to give you one example. So last year, Benfica went to the fifth game with Bayern, and what did we do in that game? Not the fifth game, the fourth game. We went with the substitutes
Yes.
against
We
Bayern.
lost 4-0 at home, and then we went to Bayern
Yeah,
with substitutes.
we just
And we played
didn't.
all right.
We just didn't care about the game.
Yes.
So George Jesus made
right?
no 5-2.
La fora.
Yeah, against Bayern. So it was another. Just another. Benfica losing 5-2, and people was just like, we don't care.
Yeah.
And at home we lost 4-0. Whatever, it's Bayern.
Yeah.
And you see, that's not Benfica. The Benfica is, this game would be another Benfica just went to this game. Okay, we went through. Doesn't matter if we are first or we are second. We need to rest some players because we have Estoril in the
Yep.
Sunday. So let's just throw Chiquinho and Diogo Gonçalves on the squad. We lose 2-0. Everything is okay. We are second. We went through the group stages, and that's the difference.
But let me ask you this, and obviously I'm not steering you to anything to defend the guy or not. How much of that do you think is because Rui Costa approaches football differently than the past leadership? How much do you think that's due to his mentality as not only a Benfiquista, but also somebody that looks at Benfica and feels that Benfica needs to be at the level that he grew up with, the same level that we grew up with?
I'm gonna let Mr. Vaquero answer that question.
No, you
but-
answer. I want
No,
you to answer.
I'm gonna answer that question. I'm gonna let him answer, but I'm gonna answer your question with a question.
Hmm.
Is there even a doubt that that's the way? I mean, I think
No,
he's shown. Is there a doubt?
I think
I
it's-
mean,
it's
you can
important.
criticize Rui Costa for whatever. You can criticize for whatever. But the one thing I think he's shown
But
that football it is at the roots of its club, and I think it's been crucial. And again, I'll let a guy who's there at every single game answer it. But to me, I don't even think that's a question to be had nowadays. I think Rui Costa has proved himself in the footballing department, in my opinion.
So I'm gonna say this honestly. I didn't vote for Rui Costa.
I didn't either.
Okay. So I really like Rui Costa, but I'm still very angry with him.
Yep.
But the difference between Rui Costa and the other president is that Rui Costa loves Benfica. I don't have any doubt about
Right.
that. And as I said, this year was the first season in many years that I thought Benfica gave everything to the pitch. So Benfica, for many years, was thinking about many things, like let's do the let's do something to the stadium.
Thinking about selling players.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's it.
let's sell players.
players.
Yeah,
Profiting.
I have to make some commissions.
Yep.
I have financial problems. Oh, and by the way, we have to prepare the team for the next season.
By the
Well,
way,
yeah,
it's an afterthought.
Yeah.
The team is an afterthought.
yeah. And so you are playing against many teams in Europe and in Portugal that were giving everything to the pitch. You know, Franz Beckenbauer once said that a football club should have the money on the pitch, not on the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Rui Costa said we didn't make we make not a profit but a loss at
Yep.
the last semester, a quarter. I don't know. I don't speak very good English. Uh,
Yeah.
but he said it doesn't matter. Benfica needs to start winning again, and I just take my hat off to Rui Costa.
Yeah. Yeah, and
And
look, I didn't I didn't want to
No question about it.
I didn't want to lead you guys in. It wasn't a trick question, right? But I think that people need to realize that the mentality in terms of the approach to the team, the investment on a team, what the priority should be with the club, which should be the football team, which is the most important thing about the club. is now led by somebody that feels like us. So not so much that wheeling and dealing and buying the Salvador Agras de Vida and those guys to get a quick buck, and not those guys don't even wear the Benfica jersey. But it's important to recognize that the mentality is completely different. Now, I'm with Baquero because he was there for 13, 14 years, whatever it was. A lot of bullshit happened behind the scenes, and I'm sure he wasn't totally oblivious to everything that was going on. So he had to know what was going on. Did he have enough pull and enough power to say, "Hey, you guys shouldn't fucking be doing this. This is wrong. I don't identify with this. I'm gonna walk away." Whether he faced that decision or not, we don't know, right? But the truth of the matter is that he was there for 13, 14 years. So at some point, he had to know what was going on. And even from an outsider's perspective, you look at what the club's directives are in terms of where's the focus, where's the priority. The priority is to make money, not to put the product on the pitch, as Baquero said. But I think we kind of need to recognize what he has done. The other thing is that, look, let's not forget the audit, the forensic audit that we're still waiting for. I know that as we win and as the team progresses and we're playing beautiful football, people tend to forget. But that audit is extremely important to find out what was going on in our club, what has been going on in our club for the past 5-7 years. We need to find out. As supporters of the club, as paying members, we need to find out what was going on with the club, right?
But I think winning cures all.
Winning does cure all, but we can't be blind to forget that type of shit, you know?
The fact is, winning cures all. People forget that. And I'm not sitting here saying you're right or wrong, right? Because I think, myself being a Usual Regards fan, there are some things you can point the finger at, and I think that's the one clear thing that even his biggest supporters can point, could obviously criticize the guy about what he's done at his time as Benfica president, which is he promised that, and he has done pretty much everything else he's promised. Sooner or later, he's gotten to it, right? But I think winning cures all, and I think as long as this club shows that they've turned the page and winning, and the club is back in winning ways, and the club is making the right acquisitions, and they're making all the right decisions on the pitch, and the club is advancing into these late stages of the Champions League, winning time, I think people will kind of just say, you know what, let bygones be bygones. Ever since Rui Costa's taken charge of this club, he's, as I mentioned before, with the exception of the audit, he's done everything he's promised.
But the audit is extremely important.
But it's not going to happen. So I think the quicker you accept that it's not going to happen.
It's underway, apparently, from what
it's been underway forever, bro. You're never going to reveal I don't think you're ever going to know. So I think the only thing we could do is really sit there and assess the job he's done since he's taken over. There's obviously disappointments, and you can point the finger at different things with him being there 13 years, yada, yada, yada. But look, the club is headed in the right direction.
Yeah, but winning is not the most important thing.
That's Maluk, man.
It should be. It should be important, but there's things that we need to know. There's things that we need to know.
You're never gonna know those things.
Why that after winning?
I'm not disagreeing that you don't have to. There's a difference between you have to and going. You're never because again, there are too many skeletons in the closet to divulge. It is guys. I'm just being frank. I don't think it's ever gonna happen.
Can I say? I think for the majority of Benfica fans, it will be enough to win. But for the core fans, for a group of fans, it won't be enough. I'll never forgive Rui Costa until everything is clear.
If he delivers you a Champions League,
no,
Never.
no, I don't care. I'm at a point where I'm really happy with Benfica right now. I always love Rui Costa, as he's an icon. I don't trust how much he loves Benfica, but even if Benfica wins the Champions League, I don't forgive him. When I feel that a player, a coach, or let's say a Benfica dirigente, director, steals money from Benfica, That's ultimate thing.
Yeah,
Or if you know
right.
that there are something shady things happening, I don't forgive. That's I mean,
Yeah.
you can do you can be good, very bad. You can be incompetent. You know, it happens.
But how
I'm
do we know?
pr- I'm-
How do we know Rui Costa did it? And again, I'm not. Como tu disseste no outro dia, o advogado do diabo.
playing
Right?
devil's advocate.
I'm playing devil's advocate here, right? How do we know that Rui? Hold on, you're smiling without even know what I'm saying. It's because you love my voice. How do we know that Rui Costa didn't stand by idly because maybe he thought if he was to leave, things would get even worse? How do we know that? And the fact is that ever since he's come in, he's done all the right things. And so I think, obviously, with everything that's gone on in the past, we can't directly point the finger at him without any. There's no concrete evidence. There's only what we suspect, right? We don't know. And so, again, what if he stood idly because he said, if I leave, isto vai mesmo dar merda? I'm asking. I'm not saying that was the case. I'm asking.
I'm pretty sure that was not the reason. The reason is Rui Costa is lazy and he thought, I'm on the right path to become a Benfica president. I just have to wait. So that's what he did. He just waited. He knew that one way or the other, Vieira was at a point was going to leave Benfica presidents, and he was like the Don Sebastian, the Delphin.
Yeah,
He was just lazy.
and that was something that's already been made public. He's been called lazy publicly, but he's also been said that this guy is going to be my successor by Luis Felipe Vieira.
But he's been called lazy by his opposition.
No, he's been called lazy by Luis Felipe Vieira.
But Luis Felipe Vieira is a sour ex-wife, bro.
Bro, call it what it is.
But
you know.
let me just say one thing for sure. He's doing the right things.
Exactly.
No doubt about it. He became president in a very difficult situation, and last season was not amazing. Okay, so let's be honest. But this season he did all the right things. So major credit to him.
Yeah,
But-
he's doing the right thing, but he needs to be very careful with what he does. I think.
Especially with the core group of fans that they won't forgive him.
Well, you know how I feel.
I won't
And
forgive
and
him,
and,
so-
and that's the core group of fans. He drank too many beers. He's not used to be with Benfica fans anymore. No, but there are a core group of fans that goes to the assemblies,
General assemblies.
assemblies. They don't forgive.
Yeah.
They will never forget Rui Costa, and those group of fans that goes to the assemblies, they can do the yes or no at very major important things.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, let's
I
Dave.
think Rui Costa knows, like I do, that no matter what you do, there's always going to be there's always going to be Benfiquistas who are unhappy about something.
Yeah.
You're always going to find a Benfiquista complaining about só ganhamos por 6 hoje. It was only 6-1. I mean, last week we beat Juventus and Dave was complaining that we only beat them 4-3. I mean, you're never going to please everybody.
It almost backfired
Dave
on
wasn't
us.
But it didn't,
complaining
Dave.
that we didn't. Dave was just complaining how we finished the game. He wasn't complaining about the result. He was just complaining how we finished the game. That we didn't have the need to finish the game like that. Anyway, Dave, let's. Did you give the stats? I forget. We've been going on tangents.
No, I know. Geez, you would have thought we lost 6-1 today by the way you guys were going
Exactly.
there.
Thank
But
you, Dave.
No, I wanna touch up on a couple things, and then we need to wrap this up because it's getting late.
yeah.
Why? I know where to go.
What do we?
I gotta
what are
go
we
to work
talking about?
tomorrow, brother.
Are we going to
House.
stats?
Yeah, let's go with stats.
Okay. Ramos, Musa, Rafa, Grimaldo all scored in back-to-back games. They scored against Shav and they scored in this Maccabi game as well. Second game in a row that Grimaldo has scored off a free kick. Our free kick specialist is back. Including the qualifying rounds, João Mario has 6 goals in the Champions League this season. Who would have ever thought that would have been the case to how last year finished? Roger Schmidt provided an update on the injuries for Ramos and Arsnes.
Arsenis
Ramos
was
had
hurt
a-
too. He came out hurt. Arsenis.
Yeah, at the same time as Ramos. So
Yeah, I know, but I
Ramos
thought it was a
had the
technical
ankle
decision.
injury, and Arsnes had a tight hamstring, is what
Oh, okay.
Roger Schmidt said.
Got it. Thank you for that.
First time Benfica finished with 14 points in top of their group in the current form of the Champions League, which we've already mentioned here. First Portuguese team to score 6 away goals in the Champions League. And I don't know if you want to go through this next, but the possible opponents
Yeah,
for
let-
the round of 16.
Yeah, I'll go through that. And there was something that came out as soon as the games were finished. Was Wu was in pot 1 and pot 2, and I'll be honest with you.
Only 4 teams we can face.
I'll be honest with you, and I don't know how many other people agree with me, but I could give a fuck who's in what pot because I'm so confident on this Benfica team that I really don't give a fuck who we get.
I would agree with you 1,000% if we had a bona fide matador.
Se calhar ainda vamos ter. pá.
Exactly, but we'll see
It's
then.
still in February.
I said it last week's podcast, Dave, if you recall. I think a lot of teams have been having nightmares about Benfica, but they're not losing sleep yet. I think Benfica with a legit matador, I think these teams will be losing sleep. They'll not be sleeping at night, and they'd be worried about this draw. But again, Benfica, and the aforementioned before, Rui Costa, has an opportunity going into the January transfer window to right the ship. And I believe
Right the ship. Is that what you call it? Right the ship? I wouldn't call it. That's
Yeah.
so dramatic. Right the ship.
But that's
The
what we
ship
do
is
here.
fucking right. You just need to put some afterburners on that motherfucker.
Wait, I'm the one drinking and you the one
Let me
right the ship in terms of
right the ship. The ship is right, brother.
it's not right. We still missing a matador. Shit ain't
Going
right.
ba- It's going sideways. We're just going
Bro,
down the river, but sideways.
Listen, we've been treading high
Hey,
waters. Hold on,
so
better.
fucking dramatic.
Now
Well,
we're going.
if this is treading waters,
really
Better,
dramatic,
cachate,
bro.
let me talk. Now we're going in.
Anti-Titanic. man.
Now we're going into Nova Scotia, and we need a metal plate in the bow, bro. You know what I mean? We got a couple of plastic plates, but we need a metal. You have an opportunity to write it, to make it, because we're going to go through some thick-ass ice. Dave, you live up there, right? Am I right or wrong? You need that.
You live up there, Nova
shout
Scotia.
out to Nova Scotia.
We need some thick.
Shout
we
out
need
to the trailer
What do you
park
call the
boys.
icebreakers, right? We call those ships the icebreakers. We
Yeah,
need a.
yeah.
We need a.
I
We
think
need a
that-
marreta up front.
I think that riding the ship is a very dramatic term.
Bro, we could have been on to the next topic, but you.
Okay. Let me just run through the teams that are going to be on each pot. So pot 1, Napoli, Porto, Bayern, Tottenham, Chelsea, Real Madrid, Man City, and Benfica. And on the second one, Liverpool, Club Brugge, Inter, Frankfurt, Milan, AC Milan, Leipzig, Dortmund, and PSG. Out of that group 2, obviously we cannot play. Oh, we could play everybody.
No, we can't.
Except for PSG.
Oh yeah, that's right. We can't play PSG.
We can't play Porto.
Porto's on group
Well, they're
1,
in,
bro.
they're in Port.
Oh,
they're
shit,
in
we're
pot
group
1.
Part 1. We were never going to play Porto.
You know when
You know what else we
you know,
can't play? Sporting.
Oh,
Cristiano has drank too many beers.
É verdade, é mentira.
You already sobered up, man.
Não, eu estava a falar das contas antes da gente sair em primeiro lugar, pá. Desculpem lá.
Yeah.
No, we can still get
Baqueiro, what do you think? Liverpool, Bruges, Inter, Frankfurt, AC Milan, Leipzig, and Dortmund. I really don't care. I really don't.
Me neither. Let's go.
I'm gonna be honest. Liverpool, of course, is the most difficult
The
one.
worst Liverpool in 20 years.
Lá está aí.
No, that's that what yeah.
that was Juventus.
We just played
Isto é canal
the,
do Benfica ou canal do Porto?
this is Porto podcast.
Parece, pá.
I'm pretty sure. I'm going back to Portugal. No, I don't care. No, of course. Let's be honest. Even if this Liverpool team is not doing very well, I wouldn't choose Liverpool. So if we play Liverpool, okay, there is a chance because Benfica is playing so well and Liverpool is not very good this season. But Liverpool is Liverpool. I don't want to play Liverpool. All the other teams, I don't know. I think this Benfica squad, if it's lucky in the draws, we can do something very special in this Champions League, because I don't think there are many things in Europe that can be better than us. So I just wish that, as I said, I have a dream. No, not me. Martin Luther King had a dream.
Be careful, bro. You know what happened to him for having a dream. Oh yeah. Don't be having too many dreams.
Okay, I don't care. Let's pretend he's still alive. And he said, I have a dream that one day Benfica is going to win a league 20 points ahead. And he said he has another dream that Benfica is as lucky as Porto
In the draw.
in the
Who
draws.
said that?
Martin Luther King.
Oh, you did.
He said it
Smart
in
Smart
in 69. And you know, it's about time. We are lucky, so we play like Frankfurt in the last 16, and then in the quarterfinals we play Inter Milan, and in the semifinals we play AC Milan,
No. Não quero o meu Milan. Oh, semifinals está bem. Tá bem.
and in the final, okay, we play Liverpool, and we are champions of Europe,
Yeah,
and then we have to make Roger Smith happy one night
yeah.
and give him
Um,
everything.
Yeah, so the first round of knockout are on the 14th or 15th of February. The second leg will be played on the 21st or 22nd.
Valentine's Day weekend.
That's right. And then 7th, 8th, or 14th or 15th of March, and the quarterfinal draw will happen on the 17th of March. The quarterfinal games, 12 and 11th, and 18th and 19th of April. And the semifinals on the 9th or 10th of May, 16th or 17th for the return leg in May. The final will be on 10th of June. Who knows who 10th of June is?
Bro, the Portuguese Day Independence. Yo, for those of you,
Portuguese Day Independence.
it
We
is
will be there.
Independence Portugal.
Yeah,
Don't care.
we will be
Portugal Day.
It's Independence Day,
I
bro.
didn't know that.
Tu perguntas a pergunta e não sabes a resposta. Já parece o Nuno Picado a fazer o como é que é aquilo que vocês fazem. Sim, é isso. Was I gonna, you made me lose my. Epá, was I going to say for those of you, Picado is shit. For those of you that are wondering what the power is here on the Benfica Podcast, I mean, I think in my many years of doing the Benfica Podcast, this is the very first time that Alfredo Fumaças actually went through the calendar of the group stage and matchup stages.
Well, we
You've
never had to think that far.
You've never done that. That's
we
what
never
I
had to think that far.
we still don't. I mean, baby steps.
Bro, I'm telling you, man, there's no stop. I found myself thinking, could this team win the Champions League? Com jeitinho. And
Com
co-
jeitinho,
with a
yeah.
front of steel plates in front of
So
the
you're
the
saying
ice-
we're gonna have the Estrelinha from
the
2004?
The icebreakers.
Yeah.
Estrelinha
Yeah.
2004.
If we are
We don't need
incredibly
this,
lucky,
We don't need that shit. Oh.
no, we need.
No, we don't.
Trust me, we need.
No, we're Benfica.
No, we need. If we are incredibly lucky with the draws, maybe, just maybe. But even maybe it won't work. It will not.
No, I think that, as I mentioned, I think the World Cup is going to throw a monkey wrench into the whole equation. Because most of the big teams will have players in the World Cup, and I get it that the first round is February and then the second round is in March, but still, there's guys that could get hurt in the World Cup.
And we all know Real Madrid's going to wind up buying the best player in the World Cup because they do every single year. So there's going to be players moving from clubs as well. So maybe that could, mess up their rhythm,
All right,
their chemistry.
let's turn our attention now to Streel. Dave, what's Streel been up to? It's our re-encounter with Mr. It Is What It Is.
It is what it is. They're currently in 8th position with 16 points from 4 wins, 4 draws, 3 defeats. They took away points from Porto this season, a 1-1 draw earlier in the season. Historically, 50 wins, 12 draws, 4 defeats in the previous 66 meetings. Last 10 also in our favor, 8 wins and 2 draws.
Yeah, and this is after this Streel game. I think we have
It's back to back.
Two more.
Sundays for
Yeah,
the
we got
league.
Streel for the league, and then Streel for the Taça de Portugal, and then we have one more game.
Gil.
Gil Vicente before we break for
November
the
13th.
before we break to the World Cup.
But it's only a week break because then we have the Taça
Taça de
after
Liga.
that as well. Yeah.
Taça
Yeah,
de
which
Liga.
is stupid. We're going to be playing games, league games, whatever. That's the Cerveja games during the World Cup break, which is just asinine.
It's not stupid.
It depends.
the-
If you don't plan on watching
We,
the World
we
Cup,
should still have a decent
Yeah,
squad though
you don't,
to,
you don't,
to
you
do
don't,
business.
you don't stop a month.
we're gonna have Rafa.
And let's be honest, Benfica will not have many players in the World Cup.
No,
Otamendi,
four or five.
Enzo.
But dude, it doesn't make sense.
Four or
No,
five.
it does make sense. They don't stop. they keep on playing.
It didn't make sense to put the World Cup in Qatar and
Yeah, that's the
ruin the schedule for everybody else. That's
yeah,
what not it didn't make sense.
Exactly.
Anyway, just before we go, I gotta, I got something to ask Baquero, and obviously my first known or knowledge about who Baquero was through Memoria Gloriosa, right? And that is a Facebook page that Baquero has, in which he will post clips of old Benfica games. And throughout our friendship and getting to know him, and the people that know him know that Baquero is almost a collector of Benfica games, and he has the habit of editing videos and putting a little recaps together of every season. So if you have old games and your VHS or Betamax tapes, get in touch with Baquero, because he's missing a few.
Make sure your dad didn't record a porno over it. All right? Make sure it don't like Benfica, Porto, and then it's a Porto, because it happened. It happened in every household. We all know that.
É só para distrair, pá. No, but
mulher, vai buscar o jogo do Benfica, Porto.
I'm incredibly, I'm very fascinated to hear the story how that started, how you started with doing that.
I think it has to do with me. When I was 10 years old, I watched the Benfica of '94, 6-3, amazing Benfica. I watched, even today, that's the game of my life. And then yeah. No. For me, the
Sporting.
6-3. No, 6-3. It was a game, winning title game, and 6-3. And I was talking to Gonçalo, and we were talking about that his generation is much lucky than mine, because when I saw that when I was 10, and then I saw Benfica winning the league when I was 22 years
Yep.
old age. And so all through that period, no, Vietnam. So what could I do? I just watch old Benfica games, and I became very nostalgic about the Benfica of the 80s. And I don't know how to explain, but I just started to do that, starting to collecting games, and it became like the hobby of my life.
Yeah.
To collect games. For a while it was like the big games, and then I started talking to people, and people had more games, and then I searched YouTube and find more games.
Yeah.
And it got to right now.
Yeah. How big is your collection?
No, it's like my porn collection is much bigger. But
There's the internet for that now.
yeah. No, I can tell you that since 1982, I just have there are only less than 20 games that I don't have a video of the game.
Full games or just the recaps?
No, just recaps. No full games.
Yeah.
Just recaps.
Yeah.
But since the 1982 to right now, less than 20 games that I don't have any image.
Yeah.
Have you tried reaching out to like RTP or whatever for any help?
Yeah, they don't. They charge a lot of money. They don't. They
Well,
don't
ladies
help.
and gentlemen, we're opening up a GoFundMe for Baquero and Memoria Gloriosa. Do what you got to do.
No. And they say that they can't sell.
Yeah. And the other my other question to you is, when is the next Historia Gloriosa coming out? That's a question everybody wants to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know what Historia Gloriosa is, so Baquero, Alberto Mingues, who is the club's official historiador. He was like a historian, club
Is it
historian.
archivist almost?
Historian, I would say.
Okay.
They've done a show that's called Memoria Gloriosa. Search that. It's on the Benfica Independent platform. That basically they went through decades at a time, 1 decade at a time. So from the club's creation and birth all the way to, where did you guys stop?
94.
94. So you still got a few more to go. But if you haven't checked that out, I highly recommend that in terms of learning the history about the club. And that dude, Alberto Miguel, by the way, I thought you were awesome. That guy is that guy is fucking incredible.
Dude, we have to let everybody know. Bakira didn't pay us for this. We just that's honesty. That is top notch. If you want to know all about
He
Benfica's
said,
history,
if you want me on your podcast, you got to plug my shit.
if you wanna know about Benfica history, it's in Portuguese. You know, unfortunately for those of you not speaking Portuguese, I mean, pay me a little fee and I'll translate. But it's just a phenomenal storytelling by these three gentlemen, Picado Gate, Baquero, and Miggins. It's phenomenal, and you guys should check it out. It'll definitely be worth your time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man.
Yeah, we still we have to do 94 to 2004. It's a very difficult episode because it's Vietnam.
Yeah.
But we have to do, and I'm sure.
In 2000, then 2004 to 2004 or 2005 to 2015.
We'll have to talk about it.
And then, well, maybe you'll wait till we get to 2025 to finish it up.
Yeah, but at least 94 to 2004 we still have to.
Yeah,
do.
and
It doesn't make sense to
With
stop.
all due respect, when you look at the podcasts or the programs of the inaugural seasons of how Benfica was, which is obviously that's very interesting to a lot of people, right? And then the 60s was extraordinary. I think what everyone really is waiting for, believe it or not, is the accident on the road, which is Vietnam. Everybody wants to hear because we've all heard so many stories about the negativity. I think a lot of people, young kids as well, because we refer to Vietnam. They don't know what the hell's. Look, you got a kid in here.
generation, yeah.
Exactly.
well,
They don't know about Vietnam.
they
Exactly.
Know,
They want
need to know
that
about
Vietnam is a must.
yeah.
they
You
know
have to
that
get
we're
that.
12 years without winning a title, but they don't
Why?
know what those 12 years were.
They don't know the
composed of.
pain in
All
between.
the misery.
They don't know what happened, the pain, the step by step, year by year. They don't know why Benfica went from winning a game, as you just stated, 6-3 at the Alvalade, winning a championship that a lot of people did not expect Benfica to do so, but they did. And then everything came crashing down. And I think that's the podcast you guys have to do, bro. You guys have to absolutely make that. I think after that, it's like, okay, it's good days. I think it's
I think it's Storia Gloriosa,
For sure.
right? Storia Gloriosa.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
I know that some guys in the chat, Storia Gloriosa and Baqueros.
Gloriosa is this page on
yeah,
Facebook
that's
where
right.
you can see all the highlights of every single game in years past.
Every single game
But
except for those 20 games.
Historia Gloriosa is where they tell you about from day one to current, well, till 94 until
Yeah.
this point, to current events, step by step, or what happened to Benfica along the years, season by season, decade by decade, and it's just extraordinary.
Yeah. So if you got some Betamax or VHS tapes out there and from old games, and just hit us up. We'll see if that's the one Baquero's missing. They are out there. I know they are. Anyway, let's say goodbye, right? I wanted to thank Gonzalo, the hitchhiker that joined us here. And, it was a pleasure having you, man.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, it was great. And Baquero, we've been looking forward to Baquero being on for the longest time, ever since we found out that he was coming. So it was exciting. Tens uma pergunta, então faz?
Baquero, how does it feel like to be on a real podcast for the first time?
Hey, foda-se.
It's amazing. It's like the my first time, you know.
It's like my first
Yeah.
time.
being that starting to lose, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's
Picado.
amazing. No, yeah, fuck you, Picado. No, let me just say that it's been an incredible week. I never dreamed about coming to the United States. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just an idea that formulated a few years ago. And what I have been living this week is incredible. United States has, of course, a lot of problems. We all know that, but it's also an amazing country.
Yeah.
I watched the football game on Saturday,
Sunday,
Jets against
New England.
Patriots, and then we went to Madison Square Garden to see the game Rangers, and it has been incredible to see the American experience.
Yeah.
But for example, today was also incredible to see the American Benfica experience.
Yeah.
So to see a Benfica game on we can say a Portuguese bar with Portuguese people, and then to see the Newark, the Benfica Casa do Benfica in Newark, and then No Name Boys Club. I gotta say, I'm a Benfica fan from Lisbon. I when I want to go to a Benfica game, it's 15 minutes and I'm there and I watch the game and then I go home and I don't think about it. It's very easy to to be a Benfica fan in Lisbon.
Yep.
So whenever Benfica loses a game, I have 300 people surrounding me to cry on my shoulder.
Yep.
And I used to think about when you are a Benfica fan, for instance, in Porto, how difficult it must be. And for me, that was the ultimate thing, to be a Benfica fan in Porto.
Yep.
And I came here, and I think you guys that are on another continent are the ultimate Benfica fans, because you guys are so outside of everything, and you keep the flame going. So it was like an inspiration, you know.
Yeah.
I really the girl the not the girl the president of the Newark the Casa of Benfica.
She's the president of Casa
She noticed that I was a little bit shocked up.
Yeah, you're emotional.
Yeah, because I never thought about seeing tanto benfiquismo in
Yeah.
America.
No, it's extremely hard to be a Benfica fan so far away, and I think that and I don't want to say that some guys do, but you guys almost take it for granted that you have the stadium right there, that 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, you could be in a stadium and you could watch the game every other week. While for us, we almost have to plan out our year to coincide with a Benfica game in Lisbon whenever we go to Portugal. It's extremely difficult, and there's a lot of longing and saudade in terms of Benfica, and I think it's projects like this and projects like Benfica FM that really bring people together and really shorten that saudade, or kind of, you tend to kind of forget sometimes the distance that you have because you're so connected to the club and other people that love the club.
And it's one of the main reasons why in years past, when things were very difficult to watch on the field and going on with our Benfica, we, Alfredo and I and Dave and everyone that contributed to the podcast along those years, we felt we owed it to the people to come on here, because there's a lot of people that live in parts of the world that don't have the access to Portuguese media, to Portuguese journalism, right, to access to Benfica games. And they don't speak Portuguese, unfortunately, but they always knew they could count on us to come on here and hear my stupidity. And Alfredo and Dave try to put things, into perfect wording. But at the end of the day, we explained and we gave that sentiment of being a Benfiquista, the heartthrob of a Benfiquista that was really feeling throughout the world. We gave it to those people. And as difficult as it was at times, it was an absolute pleasure. Am I right or wrong, Alfredo? Yeah. And it was a pain in the ass. Trust me, there was days that we're sitting here and I'm like, Dave, I'm not talking. Right or wrong, Dave?
Days, that's every week.
Shut up,
That
man.
is every week, brother.
I'm like, I'm not talking today. I'm just, bro, I'm fed up. But then, bro, we love doing this, and we understood that there were people around the world that want better to hear what we had to say, because that's the only Benfica that we're going to hear for the week. And so, yeah, man, thank you, Fumaças. Fuck. Bucket. Já took my word. Fuck you, Picado.
Fuck you, Ezekiel.
Thank you, for what you've done. Thank you for representing Benfica. We had a Red LeBaron on here saying, the Baquero, no, come to California. Epa, agora tá todo mundo tentando
Baquero
comprar.
is getting pimped out across the
Baquero's
world.
been
He's
pimped
got
out. They got
invitations in Canada,
Poutine,
California.
Says something like, thank you for the Baquero. Obrigado for coming. Thank you for the job you're doing. Thank you for, defending the Benfica world around the world. And that's what we do here. That's what we do. On the Benfica podcast, we try, and I know every Benfica podcast, continue Benfica after 90.
Yeah.
And again, guys, I hate dropping names because I always forget somebody. It's not that I don't want to mention you guys, because you guys continue after that. I love you guys. But if I mention you guys, then I got to mention everybody else and I forget. And then everybody gets mad because you mentioned this guy. But so I'll just throw it overall, bro. Everybody does a phenomenal job of representing Benfica in their own little way. And we have an obligation. And so thank you guys for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you here, Baquero. Don't come back because I can't talk that much when
Thanks,
you're here.
Dave.
Thank you, Dave. Guilherme. Yep, Guilherme. Thank you, Guilherme. Thank Gonçalves. And next week, Next week we'll be back, Alfredo. What's
We'll be
on the agenda for next week?
We'll recap the Estoril game and look ahead to Estoril.
Okay.
Double dose of it's like a Benfica sandwich in between Estoril games.
Double barrel.
See you guys. Take
Peace.
care. Later.
Arrivederci.